Hey Cancer, happy February 2017. Hope all has gone well for you in the beginning of 2017 and now the second month of the new year. I'm going to shuffle 2 more times as I've pre-shuffled like I normally do. As always, check your sun, moon, and rising signs. Also, if you're aware and you've seen my videos before, you'll know that I move pretty fast. I focus on love and relations, but sometimes I pick up on other areas that need to be addressed as well. So I'll definitely include any other information that's, I see fit at the time or that comes into play that may not deal with love and relations. Let's see. So this is a general reading, as you know, but I hope it resonates with most of you. So let's get started for the love month, February 2017 for Cancer. Okay, so the first card placement that we have is your current state of mind or current position moving into February, and you have the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords, this actually means that you might be entering February with some self-doubt. I'm getting the feeling a lot of you are confused about what type of person you're dating or exactly where your relationship is and where you stand. This card stands for uncertainty in love. It generally means you want a commitment from someone if you're dating or in a current new relationship or kind of feeling each other out. And the person you're with is not sure they want to be tied down right now. If you are dating or you're single, the people you're meeting are more likely telling you one thing, but kind of showing you something else. So they're saying, I want to be in a relationship, but then you see them on the dating sites still checking people out. Or maybe the opposite. They're telling you they don't want something serious, and they're doing the complete opposite. They're, checking your every move and calling you every 5 seconds and texting you. So a lot of interesting quandaries, it feels like. It doesn't seem like many of you are clear in what you're getting from the person you're dating or that you're starting to connect with and build a relationship with. I'm showing that you might be facing some decisions, whether you want to continue to date. I'm getting a weird feeling that some of you are kind of like sick of the dating scene, even though last month seemed pretty promising. Some of you are noticing there's drama or, turmoil, and you're kind of second guessing the whole thing altogether. It seems like there's a lot of serial daters out there right now. Relationships might be facing decisions that will either make or break their bond, like whether marriage is wanted by both parties, more kids, the start of a family. The 8, though, is more often than not a binding to a bad situation. And guess what, Cancer? You control it. So if you're not meeting people, you can take that at face value. While single, change your methods. Start heeding the instinct that Cancer has deep within themselves. Cancers are very insightful, and watch red flags or patterns. If you are in a relationship, you know what you want. Cancers are in tune with their needs and their heartstrings more than most signs. So if your partner hasn't fully committed or isn't wanting marriage right now, they may not be the best suit for you. I'm not saying a breakup is on the horizon. The 8 represents you keeping yourself in situations that are not meeting your needs, so you will be the one to either break it or make it. Cancer will have to decide if they're going to change this and get what they want. It's interesting because you ended January with the Tower. Again, that wasn't a terrible card to end that read with, but it's the chance to rebuild. And for some of you, I mentioned, this could be an ending to a relationship or 2 people coming together to rebuild. The Tower can often symbolize everything tearing down and a fresh start. So the 8, not a bad card, but definitely signifies that some changes need to be made. The next card you have is the challenges, which are often internal, and you have the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords can be kind of a tough card. It's not a happy-go-lucky card at all. This card means often illness or suffering, but that's when it's tangible and something that's external, not so much in the challenge position, which is more internal. This position is often, again, your own internal struggle or internal peace, depending. But this card obviously doesn't represent peace. So, kind of goes fittingly with the 8 because you're currently being your own worst enemy and not standing up for yourself. Any suffering of the heart you have in the beginning of February feels like it's self-imposed. Yes, I'm sure several of you were led on to believe things that turned out false, but most of you stuck along for the ride, knowing in your heart that the outcome may not be what you want. You have to start believing you're worth it. This is a card of not confronting the demons and not standing up for yourself. This is being scared of the unknown. As I told another sign who got this card this month as well, don't let this ugly hand crush you. Do not fall into negative thinking patterns like, if I end the relationship, will I ever meet anybody again? What if I can't find anything better? As I said last month, it's better to be single and mingle than to stay just to say that you have something. The nostalgia of love is upon us because of Valentine's Day this month. So either have a serious heart-to-heart with the one you love, push for romance, rekindling, or figuring out if what you have is healthy and conducive to your love life. This conversation needs to smolder any doubts you have, and if it doesn't, and you're not getting the answers you want or need, then it may be time to cut ties. If you're single or dating, use Valentine's Day as an excuse to be schmoozy and cheesy and ride the love wave. Push past the people who are playing games or dating for only one reason. I really feel like the commitment phobes and people who have been fake will recede a bit this month as they're not comfortable with this holiday because, in essence, it means they'd have to commit to something that they're not essentially ready for. Okay, so the next card we have is the past, which is distant past or traits of your past relationships. And you have the Sun. So this card is in the distant past, like I said. It brings clarity and wisdom, which it feels like a lot of you are starting to see with eyes wide open. I have a feeling a lot of you are working on yourself, hence the above, and needing to reflect on what you want that makes you happy in love and in a partnership or relationship. It seems as though you're taking the good from your past and deflecting the bad, which may in turn make you start second guessing what you have now and what you would like and where you would like your relationship to be at the end of the year, or the next 5 months, or the next 2 months. The past has been hard on many. We discussed this last month, but the Sun is representing hope that you will forgive and let go of things that are keeping you down and creating this self-doubt. It's as if you're feeling a fire light within yourself, and it's making you want to be better. You know you deserve it, so start getting it. Go after it. So the next card you have is the most recent past, which is the past few weeks. And you have the Nine of Cups, which the Nine of Cups is often, signifies bliss and wonderment. But this card is in the recent past, above with your 8 and your current position. Many of you have been living on cloud 9, so to speak, because of the holidays and into January, and you've ridden the cloud to the point of it's starting to thin out. This is where the confusion of the 8 comes in, because it seems as though many of you thought things were heading in one direction, and now you're seeing clearly they were not. This also means that many of you had the discussions of marriage or adding a baby to your household, and it kind of fizzled out. Maybe the holidays had many, people wearing the rose-colored glasses and sugar plum dreams, and now everything is back to reality, and it doesn't seem to be so fanciful. I worry a lot of you were being told that people you were meeting on dates were looking for something serious when in fact they weren't, as I said above, or vice versa. They said they weren't looking for something serious, and now they want to move, super quick. Many of your relationships have had a New Year's shakeup, similar to a honeymoon phase, and now you're seeing that it's plateaued a little bit. I don't foresee, again, necessarily breakups or major heartache, especially with the 9 coming up. This tells me maybe your fears of, this ugly hand above, you're feeling disappointments that things aren't happening as fast as you thought. Maybe the talk of marriage is still going to happen, but at a slower pace. I think many of you who are single did meet decent people, but it wasn't good enough. And now you're holding out. Maybe they do want a relationship, but right now they want to be single. And you don't feel like playing the dating game over and over. It feels as though the beginning of February is kind of a wake-up call to come down to reality. Start leading the way. Like, you have the power in this card. So if you're not getting what you want, again, change your practices. You need to live your life to the fullest. I know a lot of people who say that, but you really do. You're the one who's living it, and, you know, it's always going to be around. So, you know, it's time to play and make the decisions that are going to get you where you want for the rest of your life. It feels like a chessboard, and the pieces need to be moved so that these relationships and partners can come into your life. If you're in a current relationship, you need to move these pieces so both parties can be satisfied and fulfilled. It really does feel like maybe if you make, you know, a little more effort in finding what you really like, then all the pieces will shift and you'll find it. Or in your relationship, maybe if you focus on one thing, like this month again, you know, a little more romance, then, you know, it'll change the game, so to speak. So the next card you have is the future card, and this is distant future. This isn't, you know, necessarily by the end of February. This is generally over the next couple of months, and you have the Ace of Swords. So you have the Ace of Swords. Everything is tying together pretty much. The Ace is cutting, and he or she is cutting out the crap, which is generally you. You're cutting out confusion, fog, moving towards a better future. The Ace is you consciously choosing to live a better, happier, and more sensible life. You have the power and the logic now. You see things for what they are, and you know whether they are going to change or whether you're just hoping. It's going to be hard for some, and you will, again, be the 8 above. And you'll keep yourself in a position that you can free yourself from. I hope most of you don't. Either you're going to continue to act like a prisoner and survive, or you're going to choose to thrive. I see most of you choosing to thrive. This card represents less emotions, which is tough for Cancer because Cancers have such loving hearts and often lead with emotions. For couples, I think this will be cut and dry. And for once, you won't take, let's talk about it later as the answer, or shoving it under the rug. You'll be having the hard conversations, and it's actually going to feel like your partner may be surprised by your awareness and clarity. They may not have seen the effects of their refusing to commit or take real steps, or, you know, it seems like this will awaken them and they'll become more attentive. And this may even help them see what amazing people they have standing in front of you, or standing in front of them, which is you, Cancer. I feel like many of your partners will feel as though they weren't taking you seriously, and now they have no choice, as you're not going to skirt around the issues anymore. These are important issues too, and they're important to you, so it needs to be important in your relationship. If you're single, you won't let that person text you when they feel like it, either in or out. Take my feelings seriously, or I will move on to other possibilities. There are so many frogs out there. You have to kiss a lot to find the prince or princess. Just because you like somebody, but they put you on the back burner, doesn't mean that's the last person you'll go on a date with. Start fighting for yourself, and you will notice others will start fighting for you as well. Make the decision that you're worth it, and set forth a path that feels good. This card is the distant future, so this means many relationships will be built, but not tomorrow. Again, this will take a few months. Not everyone will kiss the right frog, you know, by the end of February. So the next card you have is your immediate future. And let's see. You have the Ace of Coins. So the Ace of Coins, this is amazing for your immediate future. This is potential, opportunity, and beginnings. Congratulations, you're starting anew, so pat yourself on the back. Literally take a minute to actually do the gesture in 10 seconds and pat yourself on the back. You will feel a bit better. The Ace above cuts out the crap for the distant future, but in starting this process, you will find the universe leaning in your favor. Things will move more fluidly. If they're supposed to be the right path for you, it won't be so hard. You won't be fighting your own mind. You know, is he or she right for me? Are they treating me well? No, now you will put into the world what you want, which is very important because you will get what you put out back. So in other words, if you want a fling, that's what you'll get. If you want to be taken seriously, then take others seriously as well. You don't need to be on the defense either, because love is coming, and there's going to be a plethora of signs that it is coming and that you're on the right track. Even if you don't meet your new prospect tomorrow and you're moving with confidence about a brighter tomorrow, That's all that matters. I'm sensing possibilities you never thought were available to you. Aside from just love and relationships, a lot of you are seeing doors open to new horizons on several aspects. A job maybe is being offered when you weren't even looking, or maybe the person you dated months ago that didn't quite give you what you need is back with a vengeance. As always, use the Cancer instinct that is so in tune most of the time, but actually listen instead of backing down, even if it's uncomfortable at first. Putting yourself first is, or really holding out for what you need, is hard for Cancer because you love so open and freely. But as you've been realizing lately and in the past, you've been hurt deeply, and some of it's because you chose not to put yourself first, or you kept yourself in a situation that you knew you were better than. So keep your wits about you, but don't hide behind the tough shell. If anything, use Valentine's Day as an excuse to be mushy. Enjoy the romance. I see a lot of couples planning something special. I don't see many of you planning like wild Valentine adventures, but more rooting your commitment and planting more seeds, to water and grow. The things this month between couples who choose to balance out their world and come together passionately will be working on redeveloping the habits of kissing and hugging more and taking the time to appreciate each other, which can mean more than the fancy gifts. It's really delving into who you are as people and in your relationship. The next card you have is future external factors, so anything that might be a little more tangible. And you have the 10 of coins. So this card is fruitful. It's great that it's in the place of the external factors. This implies money, abundance. For many of you, it's going to be an abundance of dates or suitors. If you're single, maybe you'll be getting a lot of phone calls, a little extra attention. Again, I get this job sense, and it's not like I see a lot of you out there looking for, new careers. It's more like it's coming towards you, or new successes at your current work are coming towards you. For couples, this means your generosity is pouring out, and your goal right now is to let your partner know how much you love them and they you. This card is wealth. So externally, maybe you come into money, although people say that, and I try hard to think of how many times I've had a discussion with somebody I know and they've said, hey, I just fell into a bunch of money. So I see this as more hard work, finally paying off, a raise, money or abundance that is earned, not so much, hey, I won the lottery. Living abundantly in love and future is also the feeling I'm getting. It's as though you were able to love more freely, whether you're single or coupled. I'm also getting the feeling this is many of you working together. Couples coming together, coming up with new ways to maybe start a job on the side, doing something you both enjoy. Maybe you make furniture, maybe you do crafts, maybe you come up with a really good invention, maybe even doing something that has nothing to do with money, but volunteering together, doing something that makes you both feel grounded. For singles, I feel like a lot of you are having an overwhelming sense of peace by the end of this month, and you'll be surrounding yourself with other people, friends and dates. Some of you will also start joining groups, and you'll notice an outpouring of support and meeting like-minded people. And not necessarily support groups, but maybe a bowling group or, a wine and painting group. You'll meet more like-minded people, and therefore you'll have a feeling of comfort and access to opportunities to experience new things and build relationships, which, if everything else in your life is aligning well, career, friendships, etc., you're more open to love because you're feeling good in a roundabout sense. So the next card is going to be your internal factors, and you have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen represents clarity, instincts. This ties nicely with the spread because I keep talking about you, seeing clearly and really doing what's best for you. She does, however, heed a warning. Many of you will feel on top of the world. Don't let this turn into conceit or critical thinking. Don't shun people because you feel the power of the Ace of Swords, and in turn, you're cutting people that don't deserve it. Don't push it with your partner either. If you open their eyes and they appreciate you more, or they're taking steps to really focus on your needs and wants and to hear what you're saying, don't feel as though the cards are all in your favor, because this is going to cause resentment. When you need to know when to give and take. The Queen also makes me caution you because you're not being, you want to make sure you're not being overly critical of yourself. Your future is looking super positive this month. It kind of started off a little dreary, but then as it pushes through, I see a lot of new beginnings and things that are going to go very well, and into the distant future as well. But I know Cancers, and I know when things are starting to go good, you often harbor that feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Oh, things don't ever go this good, so when is something bad going to happen? Don't overthink this month. Go into the future knowing your self-worth and what's going to work for you. Don't worry about hurting someone's feelings either if you truly know they're not meant to be. You can't walk around worried that someone won't like you because you didn't fall madly in love with them. Yes, we all want to believe that we're great people and there's no reason anybody wouldn't like us, but that is life. If we were all meant to be together, love would not be so special. So the last two cards you have are fears or hopes, and then the outcome. So your fears or hopes are going to be the Four of Swords, and the ultimate outcome is going to be the Four of Coins. So the Four of Swords, you started with a lot of swords. You've had swords in the beginning, in the middle, and now you're ending with swords. You've also had a lot of coins. I feel a lot of you really need to make some major changes and put yourself first, like I keep emphasizing. The Four of Swords comes up in your hopes and fears position. Again, this is often internal, and this is about internal factors for the outcome of February. Rest, relax, recuperate. You've gone through a lot, mentally and emotionally. Remember to breathe. Take a day to rest. Watch your favorite movies. You've been busy. Buy that bottle of wine you wanted or that chocolate bar. Take some time for you. Go fishing, hiking, read. Whatever brings you solace, do it. Make sure you end this month on a positive internal vibe, which means shut the phone off, take a nap, a bath, sing out loud. If you're coupled, shut all the devices down, play a board game. Make more time for your family without the hustle and bustle of the surrounding world. I'm getting a strong vibe. No matter what your romantic situation, you need to focus on internal balance, believing in yourself, meditating, but remember to get some rest and clear your head. You won't get any peace, and you won't put your best foot forward if you try to do everything without taking care of your well-being as well. So not only are you putting yourself first in your love lives, but do it for your mind and soul as well. The outcome for February is the Four of Coins. For relationships, this is an excellent card. This is a bond that is strengthening on its own without too much pressure or pushing. So at the beginning of the month, you had the hard conversations. Maybe in January you had them. And now your relationship is moving fluidly, on its own. This is you sailing on high seas for now, and the water is smooth. February has seen its moments, but you're preserving it, and it's feeling good. For couples, this isn't a bad, for singles, this isn't a bad card, but it means you're thinking a lot. So most of you logically are just sorting out what has come in and what needs to go back out, so you can continue to find what you want. This does mean many of you will still be questioning whether, the people you're meeting are good enough for you, or trying to guess how they feel, whether they think you're good enough for them. Again, the dating game and finding someone is a process. And as long as you have your head on straight, the outcome will be closer and closer to what you desire. So now that you finally started to make, your self-worth a major priority, you can move into the future with purpose and focus. February outcome for singles is actually just the beginning on the right track for you for future relationships. So you will see a lot of changes in your dating life in the month of February, but I kind of see it, like I said, as the beginning, so to speak, because again, that's your future relationships. And it's super important that you find out what you want and not just rush into anything because you're over worried that you're not going to find what you want. So I have my wish paper here, and I wished that Cancer found their light inside themselves and their soul. And my wish for you this month is that you meet somebody amazing, but more importantly, you meet yourself. And you meet the person that you deserve. So that's my wish for you. We'll go ahead and light this and let that fly off. And then because it is February and it's the cheesy love month, I did also do a small deck of love cards. And there that goes. So that's good. I did do a small deck of love cards. And I want to just pick one really quick. I know it's cheesy. And just see what it says. They're kind of fun. And again, it's for, you know, the month of February. So Ode to Saint Valentine. Okay, so the card you get is be the one to patch up an argument, even if it's not your fault. So I think that's an excellent card because I know that we can all be stubborn and none of us want to be the one to cave in and say, you know, I'm sorry. So maybe decide that you'd rather be together and rather not fight. So you're not going to point fingers and place blame. You're just going to heed this card's advice and say, I love you. Have a great February, and I'll see you next month. Thanks, Cancer.